The smell of vanilla and sugar usually filled my kitchen with so much joy. Today, it just smelled like disappointment. I stared at the half-empty tub of frosting, a lump forming in my throat. How was I going to tell Leo, my little boy, who had been counting down the days to his 5th birthday for months, wouldn't have a cake? It wasn't a choice I made lightly. Every penny was accounted for, stretched thin as a rubber band about to snap. Rent was due, and Leo had just outgrown his only pair of shoes, the ones with the little rocket ships he loved so much. A birthday cake, as much as it broke my heart to admit, felt like a luxury we couldn't afford. I picked up my phone, my fingers trembling slightly as I dialed Mrs. Henderson, the sweet lady who ran the local bakery. "Hi, Mrs. Henderson, it's Sarah, about Leo's cake. I'm so sorry, but I need to cancel the order." There was a pause, a kind, understanding silence on the other end. "Oh, Sarah, dear, is everything all right?" I tried to keep my voice steady, but a tear escaped and traced a path down my cheek. We had some unexpected expenses. I can't justify it right now. Don't you worry about the deposit, dear. We'll work something out when you're ready," she said, her voice full of genuine warmth. I thanked her, hung up, and leaned against the counter, the weight of the world pressing down on me. How do you explain to a 5-year-old that money is more important than his birthday wish? How do you look into those bright, excited eyes and say, "No cake"? Leo was my whole world. After his father left, it had just been the two of us against everything. We might not have much, but we had each other, and I always tried to make sure he felt loved, special, and safe. His birthday was supposed to be a day he felt like the most important person on earth. Later that afternoon, Leo burst through the door from kindergarten, his backpack bouncing. "Mommy, guess what? Miss Lily said we're going to sing happy birthday to me at school tomorrow." His face was alight with anticipation. My heart ached. I forced a smile. "That's wonderful, sweetie. Are you excited for your party on Saturday?" "Uh-huh, and for my rocket ship cake," he exclaimed, jumping up and down. I knelt down, pulling him into a hug, burying my face in his soft hair. "Leo, my love, about your cake." My voice wavered. Mommy was thinking, maybe this year we could make our own special cupcakes instead, just us. He pulled back, his brow furrowed. But Mrs. Henderson makes the best rocket ship cakes, and you said she was making mine." His lower lip started to tremble. "I know, baby, and I'm so sorry. But cupcakes can be really fun too. We can put sprinkles and cherries on them." I tried to sound enthusiastic, but it fell flat. His eyes, usually so full of joy, welled up. "No, I want a rocket ship cake. You promised." A sob escaped, and he buried his face in my chest. My own tears started to fall, mixing with his. This was exactly what I had dreaded. I held him tight, whispering apologies, trying to explain, without really explaining the harsh realities of our situation. He didn't understand, and how could he? He was just a little boy who wanted a birthday cake. The next few days were a blur of trying to cheer him up. We decorated the living room with streamers I found at a dollar store. I even bought him a small toy rocket ship, a much cheaper alternative to the bigger one he'd been asking for, hoping it would soften the blow. He was happy with the toy, but the mention of the cake still brought a cloud over his face. On Friday, the day before his small party with just a few friends from school, I was at the grocery store, trying to find ingredients for the cupcakes. I was staring blankly at the baking aisle, feeling utterly defeated, when a voice spoke beside me. "Excuse me, Mum, are you all right?" I looked up, startled. Standing next to me was a man in a crisp, dark suit. He looked important and kind. His eyes held a gentle concern. "Oh, yes, I'm fine," I mumbled, quickly wiping away a stray tear I hadn't even realized had fallen. "Just trying to figure out what to bake." He smiled warmly. "A birthday, perhaps?" My heart squeezed. My son's 5th birthday tomorrow. He really wanted a rocket ship cake, but, well, cupcakes it is. I tried to sound nonchalant, but my voice still caught a little. He nodded slowly, as if understanding more than I'd said. "A rocket ship cake, you say? That sounds like a grand birthday wish." I gave a small, sad laugh. "It is. He's a wonderful boy. Deserves the world, but sometimes the world just doesn't cooperate." He looked at me for a moment. Then his gaze drifted to my grocery cart, which contained mostly budget-friendly items. He didn't say anything, but I felt a blush creep up my neck, feeling self-conscious about our financial struggles being so visible. "You know," he said, his voice thoughtful, "I happen to be very fond of bakeries, especially the one down the street, Mrs. Henderson's. She makes the most incredible rocket ship cakes." My eyes widened. "You know Mrs. Henderson?" "Indeed. A pillar of the community, that woman. And her cakes, well, they're legendary." He paused, then continued, "If I were a betting man, I'd say a certain 5-year-old would be absolutely thrilled with one of her rocket ship creations." I felt a surge of hope, quickly followed by a rush of embarrassment. What was he getting at? Was he offering to buy it? I couldn't accept charity from a stranger. "That's very kind of you to say," I began, trying to politely decline whatever he might be hinting at. "But we really are just doing cupcakes this year." "It's fine." He held up a hand. "Please, hear me out. My company is running a small community appreciation initiative this month. We're looking for ways to spread a little joy, to celebrate the unsung heroes, the hard-working parents, the wonderful children. And when I heard about your son's wish, it just struck me as the perfect opportunity." My brow furrowed. "A community initiative?" It sounded a little too convenient. "Absolutely," he said, his smile unwavering. "Think of it as a random act of kindness, a small gesture from our side. Would you allow us to contribute to your son's birthday in this way? A rocket ship cake delivered right to your door tomorrow morning, with our compliments." I stared at him, speechless. My mind was racing. Was this real? Was this some kind of scam? He looked so genuine, so sincere, and the thought of Leo's face lighting up with a real rocket ship cake, it was almost too much to bear. I don't know what to say," I finally managed, tears pricking my eyes again. "Say yes," he urged gently. "It would truly make our day to know we could bring a smile to a deserving young man's face." Hesitantly, I gave him my address and phone number. He thanked me warmly, handed me a simple business card with a company name I didn't recognize, and then, with a respectful nod, he was gone, disappearing into the bustling supermarket. I stood there for a long moment, clutching the card, wondering if I'd just been pranked, or if a miracle had just happened. It felt too good to be true, but a tiny seed of hope had been planted in my heart. The next morning, I was still skeptical. I woke up early, preparing the house for Leo's few friends, trying to push away the disappointment that would surely come if the man's promise turned out to be empty. Then, around 9 o'clock, there was a knock at the door. My heart pounded. I opened it to find a delivery person standing there, holding a large, white box. "Delivery for Leo Miller?" he asked. "Yes." I practically gasped. He handed me the box, and the familiar scent of vanilla and sugar filled the air. Inside, nestled perfectly, was the most magnificent rocket ship cake I had ever seen. It was beautifully decorated, vibrant, and detailed, exactly like the one Leo had pointed out in Mrs. Henderson's bakery window. I almost cried right there on the doorstep. It was real. The stranger had kept his word. When Leo saw it, his jaw dropped. His eyes grew wide, and then a joyous, unfiltered scream of delight erupted from him. "Mommy, my rocket ship cake. It's here." He threw his arms around my legs, squeezing me tight. "You made it happen. You're the best mommy ever." Watching his pure, unadulterated joy, felt like a heavy weight being lifted from my shoulders. It wasn't about the cake itself, not really. It was about seeing his wish fulfilled, about experiencing that unburdened happiness, even if just for a day. His friends arrived, and the small party was filled with laughter, games, and the excited chatter of 5-year-olds. When it was time to sing happy birthday, Leo sat proudly in front of his rocket ship cake, his eyes shining brighter than the candles we lit. As he blew them out, making a wish I knew was probably for more rocket ships, I looked around at the small gathering. My son, surrounded by his friends, with a magnificent cake he thought I had magically produced. And it was all thanks to a complete stranger, a man in a suit, who had seen a struggle and chose to step in with kindness. I never saw the man again. I tried to find the company on the business card, but it led to nowhere. It was almost as if he was an angel in disguise, a moment of pure grace in our lives. That day, I learned a powerful lesson. Sometimes, even when you feel completely alone and defeated, the world can surprise you with unexpected goodness. And sometimes, the most profound acts of generosity come from the most unlikely sources. That rocket ship cake wasn't just sugar and flour. It was a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there can be light. And that kindness, truly, can make the world a sweeter place. It was the most beautiful birthday cake we ever had.